There is something happening right now that most Aquarius people can feel but cannot quite put into words. It is that quiet, steady pressure building beneath the surface of your daily life. It is the kind of feeling that tells you something is about to shift, something important, something real. You have been here before, standing at the edge of a major change, and every single time you reach this place, life rearranged itself in ways you could not have predicted. Aquarius is not a sign that drifts through life on autopilot. You are a sign that questions, that thinks deeply, that sees patterns other people miss entirely. And right now, the pattern you are seeing is undeniable. Things are lining up. The dots are beginning to connect. The universe is not subtle when it speaks to Aquarius. It tends to speak through ideas that arrive like lightning, through sudden clarity after long periods of confusion, through a door that opens when you were not even looking for it. That is where you are standing today. You did not stumble onto this message by accident. Aquarius is a sign ruled by Uranus, the planet of change, of awakening, of sudden and complete transformation. And when Uranus moves, it does not ask for permission. It breaks what needs to be broken and builds what was always meant to exist. You have been carrying something for a long time, a question that keeps returning, a desire you have pushed down because the timing never seemed right, a version of yourself that you glimpsed once and then lost sight of. That version is coming back into focus. A turning point is near. And here are 11 signs that it is already beginning. Sign 1, you have stopped apologizing for thinking differently. Aquarius has always been the sign that sees the world from a slightly different angle than everyone else. You do not think the way most people think. You do not value what most people value. And for a long time, many Aquarius individuals have felt a quiet pressure to shrink that difference, to tone it down, to make their uniqueness a little more palatable for the people around them. You may have found yourself explaining your ideas in simpler terms just to avoid conflict. You may have kept your real opinions to yourself because you knew they would lead to debates you did not have the energy for. You may have smiled and nodded when someone said something you fundamentally disagreed with just to keep the peace. That phase is ending. One of the clearest signs that a turning point is near for Aquarius is that you have started to feel less willing to make yourself smaller. The apologies are becoming fewer. The explanations are becoming shorter. You are beginning to trust that your perspective has value even when nobody else in the room shares it. This is not arrogance. This is not stubbornness for its own sake. This is the natural result of a mind that has spent enough time doubting itself and has finally begun to see the evidence that it was right all along. Think about the moments when you had an insight that others dismissed, and then watch that same insight become common knowledge months or years later. Think about the times you predicted something before it happened, or questioned something before it failed. Aquarius operates ahead of the curve. That is not a curse. It is a gift that has a price, and the price is being misunderstood until the world catches up. But here is what is shifting now. You are no longer waiting for the world to catch up before you give yourself permission to stand fully in your own thinking. You are beginning to show up as you actually are, without editing yourself first. That shift, quiet as it seems, is one of the most powerful things that can happen to a person. When you stop apologizing for how your mind works, you free up an enormous amount of energy that was previously spent managing other people's comfort. That energy is now available for something much more important, the work you were actually meant to do. The turning point always begins inside before it shows up in the world. And for Aquarius, it begins the moment you decide that your perspective deserves to be heard without a disclaimer attached to it. Sign 2, your tolerance for the wrong environment has reached its limit. Aquarius needs freedom the way other people need air. Not the vague idea of freedom, but real practical daily freedom. The freedom to think out loud. The freedom to question the rules. The freedom to do things differently than they have always been done. When an Aquarius person is placed in an environment that punishes those things, whether it is a rigid job, a suffocating relationship, or a social circle that expects everyone to think the same way, something inside you begins to shut down. You do not collapse all at once. It happens slowly. You stop suggesting new ideas because they always get shut down. You stop asking the deeper questions because the people around you find them exhausting. You start going through the motions because going through the motions is safer than being fully yourself and being rejected for it. For a while, that adaptation feels like maturity, feels like learning how to get along. But at a certain point, it stops feeling like adaptation and starts feeling like suffocation. That point is what many Aquarius people are reaching right now. Your tolerance for the wrong environment has run out. The job that never let you innovate. The relationship where your ideas were always treated as inconvenient. The social environment where fitting in always required you to leave the most interesting parts of yourself at the door. You can feel how much those environments have cost you, not just in frustration but in lost potential, in the ideas you never developed because you had no space for them, in the connections you never made because you were too busy performing a version of yourself that could survive the room. The turning point for Aquarius does not always look dramatic from the outside. Sometimes it looks like a quiet decision made in private. A resignation that is not yet written but is already decided. A conversation that is long overdue finally beginning to take shape in your mind. A boundary that is being drawn, slowly but clearly, around the life you are no longer willing to settle for. The environments that could not hold who you really are will begin to fall away as the turning point approaches. Not always with a fight, sometimes just with a quiet, firm exit. Aquarius moves forward when the space finally matches the mind that has been waiting to expand into it. If what you are hearing feels accurate, know that it could happen if you applied this energy consistently for 21 consecutive days. That is the 21-day challenge pinned at the top of this channel. It is built around daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you are tired of staying in the same cycle, that structure is exactly what has been missing. Sign 3. You are starting to trust your own instincts again. Aquarius is one of the most intellectually gifted signs in the zodiac. You can analyze a situation from multiple angles simultaneously. You can hold two opposing ideas in your mind at the same time and find the truth that lives between them. But there is a shadow side to that kind of intelligence, and it is that you can think yourself into paralysis. You can analyze a decision so thoroughly that every option begins to look equally flawed. You can find so many possible perspectives that you lose track of your own. And over time, without even realizing it, you can begin to outsource your instincts to the logic of other people. Someone tells you that your plan is impractical, and even though something in you knows it is right, you listen to them. Someone tells you that your idea is ahead of its time, meaning they are not ready for it, and you take that as a sign to wait. Someone tells you that the way you want to live your life is unusual, and for a moment their certainty outweighs your own. But something is changing now. A quiet restoration is happening inside you. The instincts that you had pushed down beneath layers of analysis and other people's opinions are beginning to rise back to the surface. You are starting to notice that the gut feeling you dismissed last year turned out to be right. You are starting to see that the times you overrode your own knowing in favor of what was logical or socially acceptable were often the times you ended up somewhere you did not want to be. The return of self-trust is one of the most important signs that Aquarius is approaching a turning point. Because self-trust is not just about confidence. It is about accuracy. When you trust your instincts, you make better decisions. You move faster. You waste less time trying to convince yourself of things that your gut already knows. And for Aquarius, whose instincts are genuinely sharp and often years ahead of the moment, learning to listen to them again is the difference between wandering and moving with real direction. The turning point always requires you to trust something before you have full proof. Aquarius is learning to do that again. And that alone will change the trajectory of everything that comes next. Sign 4. The ideas you dismissed are demanding your attention again. Every Aquarius person has a graveyard of ideas they once had and then abandoned. Not because the ideas were bad, but because the timing felt wrong, the resources were not there, the right person to share the vision with had not yet appeared, or the confidence to see the idea through had not yet been built. You had an idea for something that could help people, and you never started it. You had a vision for how your life could look, and you filed it under maybe someday. You had a project, a business, a creative work, a conversation you wanted to initiate, and at some point you made peace with the idea that it was just a daydream, not a real possibility. But lately those ideas are coming back. Not as vague wishes, but as persistent thoughts that show up first thing in the morning and last thing at night. As a restlessness that you cannot explain until you sit quietly and realize it is the unlived version of yourself asking to be brought to life. Aquarius rules invention and innovation. Your sign is the one that carries the water, not to drink it selfishly, but to pour it out for others. The symbol of the water bearer is the symbol of someone who carries something essential and gives it to the world. When you suppress the ideas that were meant to flow through you, that suppression costs you more than just the unrealized idea. It costs you your sense of purpose. The return of these ideas is not accidental. It is a signal. The turning point for Aquarius often begins not with a dramatic external event, but with the internal recognition that something you once believed in is still waiting for you, still viable, still worth pursuing. The world is different now than it was when you first had that idea. You are different too. And the version of the idea that wants to come through you now may be more refined, more practical, and more ready to actually reach the people it was meant to reach. Pay attention to what keeps returning. The ideas that refuse to stay buried are not distractions. They are directions. Sign 5. Your relationship with time is fundamentally changing. Aquarius lives in a complicated relationship with time. On one hand, you are a future-oriented sign. You think in possibilities, in what could be, in the world as it should be rather than as it currently is. That visionary quality is one of your greatest gifts. On the other hand, because your mind is always running slightly ahead of the present moment, you can sometimes struggle to actually inhabit the now. You think about what you should be doing, what you want to build, what needs to change, and the thinking itself becomes a kind of postponement. You are aware of where you want to go, but somewhere between the vision and the first step, something stalls. This pattern is beginning to break. One of the signs that a turning point is approaching for Aquarius is a new and growing sense of urgency that is different from anxiety. It is not the panicked feeling that you are running out of time. It is the clear and calm recognition that time is genuinely valuable, that certain windows do not stay open forever, and that the life you want to live cannot be built on the plan to start building it later. This new relationship with time is pulling Aquarius into the present in a way that feels unfamiliar, but also deeply right. You are starting to notice how much energy you spend thinking about your future without actually doing things that shape it. You are starting to feel the cost of inaction not as a vague regret, but as a real and daily friction. The turning point is near when Aquarius stops saying, "I will get to it," and starts saying, "I am getting to it now." That shift in language reflects a shift in identity. And when an Aquarius fully decides that the time is now, not eventually, the speed at which things begin to change is remarkable. You are capable of extraordinary focus when you are fully committed. The question is whether you are ready to let that commitment become something you live in real time. Sign 6. The people around you are noticing a difference in you. Aquarius is known for being friendly and genuinely caring about people on a broad level, but also for maintaining a certain emotional distance in close relationships. You give a great deal to the world, to ideas, to causes, to the communities you are part of. But letting people see you, really see the inner world where your deepest thoughts and feelings actually live, has often been harder. There is a version of Aquarius that can talk for hours about philosophy, politics, science, art, or the problems of the world, and then deflect every time a conversation moves towards something personal. There is a version that shows up fully for others in practical ways but stays slightly behind a wall when it comes to being genuinely vulnerable. That wall is thinning. The people around you are beginning to notice that something has changed. You are showing up differently. Not louder necessarily and not more dramatic, but more present, more honest, more willing to say the thing you would have avoided saying 6 months ago, more willing to let people in rather than managing them from a careful distance. This is one of the quieter but most meaningful signs that a turning point is near. When Aquarius begins to allow closeness, it is because something has shifted internally about what you believe you deserve and what you believe you can trust. The independence that Aquarius values so deeply is not the same as isolation. True independence includes the freedom to choose connection rather than being driven to it out of need. When you choose connection from a place of wholeness, the relationships that form are completely different from the ones formed out of longing or loneliness. You are learning that being known is not the same as being controlled, that letting someone see you does not mean giving them power over you, and that the people worth being close to will not try to reshape you into something more comfortable for them. Something is opening. It is quiet, but it is real, and the people who matter most to you can feel it. If this message is resonating with your sign right now, trust that it is not a coincidence. When the universe wants to speak to you, it sends exactly the right signal at exactly the right moment, and you are here because you needed to hear this today. Your support, whether as a subscriber or as a member of this community, is what keeps these messages alive. The ones that touch hearts, awaken minds, and transform lives. If this video has been making sense to you, drop in the comments the day you were born. Let us keep going. Sign 7. A long-standing problem is finally showing you its solution. There is a problem you have been sitting with for a while. It may be something in your career, something in your finances, something in a relationship, or something about the structure of your daily life. Whatever it is, you have thought about it many times. You have turned it over from different angles. You have tried certain solutions that did not quite work. And there have been moments where you wondered if it was actually solvable, or if you just had to learn to live with it. Something is shifting in how you see that problem. The turning point for Aquarius often comes not from a new problem but from a new way of seeing an old one. Aquarius is gifted with the ability to think unconventionally, to approach problems from angles that other people simply do not consider. But sometimes when you are too close to something, even that gift gets blocked by the weight of familiarity. You have been looking at the problem for so long that you can only see what you have already seen. Lately, something is loosening. A new piece of information arrived. A conversation changed how you were framing the situation. A shift in your mood or energy gave you a moment of distance from the thing that has been troubling you. And in that distance you caught a glimpse of something you had not seen before. The solution may not be fully formed yet, but the direction is becoming clearer. Aquarius at a turning point does not always have the complete map, but you begin to sense the right direction, and for a sign as capable as yours, direction is enough. Once you have the angle, the mind that solves problems no one else can solve takes over. Trust what is beginning to emerge. The fact that the problem is shifting in how it appears to you is itself a sign that you are moving into new territory. The same problem viewed from a new place is, in the most practical sense, a different problem entirely. And a different problem can have a solution the old version never could. Sign 8. You are feeling the pull to serve something larger than yourself. Aquarius is one of the most genuinely humanitarian signs in the entire zodiac. Your concern for the world is not performative. You actually care about systems and structures and the way they affect real people. You actually think about what a better world would look like and how to get there. You have ideals that you hold on to even when the world gives you every reason to become cynical. But there are seasons in a life when that humanitarian impulse gets buried under the demands of survival. When you are focused on keeping your own life stable, paying your bills, managing your relationships, getting through each week, the larger vision of what you want to contribute to the world can feel like a luxury you cannot afford. The turning point for many Aquarius people comes when that contribution impulse can no longer be ignored. When the drive to do something meaningful, something that reaches beyond your own immediate world and touches the lives of others, becomes stronger than the fear or the exhaustion or the practical objections that have been keeping it in check. You may be feeling this now. A pull towards something that feels bigger than your current daily routine. A restlessness that is not about wanting to escape your life, but about wanting to add a dimension to it that is currently missing. A sense that the things you care about most deeply, the causes, the ideas, the changes you want to see, deserve more than the corner of your attention they have been getting. Aquarius was not born to live small. You were born to carry something and pour it out for the world. The water bearer is not a symbol of someone who holds the water for themselves. It is the symbol of someone who carries it so it can be given. The pull you are feeling towards something larger is not a distraction from your life. It is an invitation into the full expression of it. Sign 9. Your standards are rising and you are not lowering them for anyone. For a long time, there may have been a gap between what Aquarius knows it deserves and what Aquarius actually accepts. You know your worth intellectually. You can articulate it. But when it comes to the actual choices you make, the jobs you take, the relationships you stay in, the treatment you tolerate from people who should know better, there has sometimes been a gap between what you know and what you allow. That gap has a name. It is the distance between self-knowledge and self-respect. Aquarius can be extraordinarily self-aware and still settle, not out of ignorance, but out of a combination of loyalty, idealism, and the stubborn belief that if you are patient enough, things will improve on their own. But patience has a limit. And one of the clearest signs that a turning point is near is that your standards are rising in a way that feels quiet but absolute. You are not making speeches about it. You are not announcing it. But internally the line has moved. What you were willing to accept 6 months ago is no longer something you can pretend to be okay with. The job that undervalues you. The friendship where the effort only flows in one direction. The dynamic in a relationship where your needs are consistently treated as less important. The daily compromises that you made so gradually you did not notice how far you had drifted from what you actually wanted. Your standards rising is not you becoming difficult. It is you becoming honest. Aquarius at a turning point stops performing contentment with situations that are not actually serving them. Not out of anger, but out of a quiet, clear recognition that the time spent settling is time that could be spent building something real. When Aquarius raises its standards without apology, the quality of everything that enters their life changes. It has to, because the standard acts as a filter. What cannot meet it will not stay. What can meet it will finally have room to arrive. Sign 10. The past is losing its hold on you. Aquarius is forward-facing by nature. You are not typically the sign that lives in nostalgia or keeps returning to old wounds. But even the most future-oriented person carries weight from the past. Old decisions that still generate regret. Old relationships that ended in ways that left questions unanswered. Old versions of yourself that you moved away from but never fully made peace with. That weight does not always show up as obvious grief or anger. For Aquarius, it often shows up as a quiet resistance. A subtle reluctance to fully commit to something new because the last time you committed fully, it did not go the way you hoped. A guarded quality in how you approach new people because you remember what happened when you opened fully to someone who did not deserve that openness. A holding back in your creative or professional life because you once put everything into something and it did not land the way you expected. The turning point is near when that weight begins to lift. Not because you are forgetting what happened, but because you are finishing the process of learning from it. There is a difference between carrying an experience because you have not yet extracted its lesson, and carrying it out of habit after the lesson has already been learned. Something has been completing itself in you. A processing that has been happening below the level of your conscious awareness, sorting through what needs to be kept and what is ready to be released. The past is beginning to lose its hold not because it did not matter, but because you are finally ready to let what happened serve you as wisdom, rather than continue to shape you as limitation. Aquarius moving fully into the future is a powerful thing to witness. And the version of you that is no longer weighted by the unfinished past is the version that will build what you have been envisioning for as long as you can remember. Sign 11. A new chapter is already beginning whether you feel ready or not. The final and perhaps most important sign that a turning point is near for Aquarius is this: things are already shifting, even if you cannot fully see it yet. New chapters do not begin like the chapters in a book, with a clear break and a blank page. They begin while the old chapter is still technically in progress. They begin in the decisions you make quietly when no one is watching, in the habit you finally broke, in the conversation you finally had, in the day you chose not to go back to something that was familiar but wrong for you, in the moment you picked up the phone and made the call you had been putting off, in the morning you woke up and noticed that the heaviness that had been sitting in your chest for months was just slightly less heavy than the day before. Aquarius, you are not standing at the edge of a turning point. You have already taken the first steps into it. The clarity you have been seeking is arriving in pieces, not all at once, because that is how real clarity works. It is not a single lightning bolt of understanding. It is a slow brightening, a gradual accumulation of insights and decisions and small acts of courage that eventually add up to a completely different life. You are in that accumulation now. The work you are doing on yourself, the boundaries you are setting, the ways you are learning to trust your own mind again, the standards you are raising, the environments you are leaving, the ideas you are returning to. None of it is wasted. All of it is building. Uranus rules your sign, and Uranus does not do gradual, comfortable change. It does sudden, complete, irreversible transformation. But even that transformation has a preparation phase. And you are in that phase right now. Every sign listed here, every shift in how you see yourself and the world around you is preparation. When the turning point arrives in full, and you will not be caught off guard, because you will have already been living your way into it. If this message resonated with your sign, trust that it is not a coincidence. When the universe wants to speak to you, it always sends exactly the right signal, and you are here because you needed to hear this today. Your support as a subscriber or as a member of this community is what keeps these messages alive. They are the messages that touch, awaken, and transform. If this video made sense to you, leave in the comments the day you were born. Aquarius, let us bring this message to a close with something important. Everything you heard today points to a single truth. You are not stuck. You are not behind. You are not too late. And you are certainly not the person who will look back on this chapter of your life and wish they had stayed exactly where they were. You are the sign of innovation, of vision, of the future. And the future you have been thinking about, the one that has lived in your mind as a possibility for longer than you would like to admit, is not as far away as it has felt. The signs are real. The shifts are real. The turning point is real. What it requires from you is not perfection. It is not a fully formed plan. It is not the certainty that everything will go exactly as you hope. What it requires is the willingness to keep moving in the direction your best self already knows is right. Aquarius is not a sign that gives up easily. Underneath the cool exterior, underneath the intellectual detachment that people often mistake for not caring, there is a person who cares deeply. About the world, about what is true, about what is just, about the people they love, and about the life they know they are capable of living. That caring has never gone away. It has just been waiting for the right moment to pour freely. That moment is now. Not the abstract future now that Aquarius sometimes lives in. The actual present now. The real time, real life, nothing theoretical about it now. You are standing in a moment that is different from the moments that came before it. You can feel it. You have been feeling it. And the 11 signs you heard today are simply the confirmation of something your deeper knowing has already recognized. Step forward. Trust the direction. Let what needs to fall away, and let what has always been meant for you finally arrive.